January 2025, how many FBI employees have retired, resigned, been fired, or otherwise separated from employment? I need a number.
We'll get you a number.
What is the number? You don't have it?
Not off the top of my head, and I want to get you the right number.
Would it surprise you to know that it's probably in the thousands, like 5,000?
I don't think that number's
Well,
accurate.
you don't know. Next question. How many special agents or analysts have left or been fired from the FBI since January 20th, 2025?
Say, we will get you the numbers, and anyone that retires is of their own volition, and anyone that is terminated at the FBI, as I've said before, is done so because they have failed to meet the standards and uphold their loyalty and oath to the Constitution.
Yeah, so you say.
This was not a polite policy exchange. It was a reckoning. Senator Mazie Hirono came armed with facts and patience. Kash Patel came with evasions. And when accountability met arrogance, the room crackled.
Executive assistant directors, or special agents in charge have left or been fired from the FBI since January 20th, 2025.
Again, people leaving on their own accord or terminations were done by the standards set at the FBI that have been carried out
With this question, I'm getting to the leadership of the FBI, and you don't have that answer. Next question. Which field office, division, or directorate has lost the most personnel since January 2025? And do you have the answer to that question?
Yeah, actually, every single field office in the country, including Hawaii, has received a plus-up of FBI agents because we're pushing them out to the field.
Okay, so you're telling me that no field office, division, or directorate has lost any personnel since January 20th, 2025. That's your answer?
In Hawaii, there's been a plus-up. In every single state that I'm looking at, we have allocated a plus-up for field offices across the country so that the FBI can continuing the historic achievements it's done in these last 7 months. When you're talking about firings, you're looking for a media hit and a fundraising clip, and I'm not going to give it to you.
It doesn't matter under what basis they left. I just want to know how many have left. And I think your testimony is nobody has left. Next question.
Nope, that's not my testimony. You asked it one time. I answered it one time. You didn't get the answer you wanted for your clip. So you keep asking it. And I told you I'd get you the numbers. But you can keep asking it.
Which field office, division, or directorate has gained the most personnel since January 2025? You noted that there have been plus-ups, so which offices have received these plus-ups?
The greatest allocation that I believe was given to California and then Florida.
Where were those offices?
California and Florida.
Thank you. Director Patel, you often refer to FBI agents as cops. All of us, Democrats and Republicans, support the police officers who keep our communities safe. But while our states, cities, counties, and towns all employ police officers to protect our communities, Congress has empowered and equipped the FBI to take on missions that local police cannot, especially taking on terrorists, hackers, and spies. I'd like to assess how well the FBI is able to handle its specialized missions under your leadership. The FBI is the nation's lead federal law enforcement agency for investigating and preventing acts of domestic and international terrorism. And yet the executive assistant directors in charge of the FBI's national security and intelligence branches were both forced out at the beginning of the year. Who replaced them in those positions?
Excellent qualified personnel to lead the mission of arresting 23,000 violent criminals this year alone. That's twice as many as before.
Who took the places of
I'm not going to give you any names so you can attack them.
Why not?
So you can attack them. I'm not doing that. The
You're not
people
gonna
sitting
give
in
me the
those seats are
names of-
extremely qualified to handle the job.
You're
We
not
would
gonna
not
give
have
me
the
the names
results.
of personnel who
we would
should
not
be
have the
on your-
reduction
Right,
of
fine,
violence in the
moving
state
on.
of Hawaii if we did not allocate the
Earlier
resources we
this
did.
year, FBI counterterrorist special agents and investigators were reassigned to assist with immigration enforcement. Reportedly, these counterterrorism experts were returned to the jobs they trained for in late January after Iran threatened to retaliate for our strikes on their nuclear facilities. Have those experts remained in the jobs they trained for since that time? Yes or no?
FBI agents' primary responsibility is exactly what they are assigned to do. We always work with our
So since they
interagency
returned to
part.
their positions,
If you're not
are
going to
they
let me
still at
answer,
those
why don't you
positions?
just do your soliloquy in the 4.5 minutes you
I
have
am
left?
not asking for a soliloquy. It's just a yes or no. Are those people who are returned to their jobs still on those jobs? Yes or no?
They never left.
What was that?
They never left their primary job. It is a surge of resources in law enforcement working with the interagency to combat violent crime and reduce
They were
violent
never
crime in
okay. They were never
historic
reassigned to do immigration.
proportions.
That's your testimony. Okay, Director Patel, the FBI is also the lead federal agency for investigating cyber attacks and
Yes.
cyber intrusions, both by foreign nation states and by non-state hacker groups. Since President Trump's inauguration, the executive assistant director in charge of the criminal and cyber branch and the head of the FBI's cyber division have both left the FBI. What are the names of the people who replace them in those positions?
The cyber branch is one of the most impressive at the FBI. 409 arrests this year, 169 convictions. That's a 42% increase from the same time last year.
It's that
So
branch,
any
Mr.
suggestion that
Patel.
the FBI cyber division is not operating at full capacity and better than ever before, the leadership at the branch is implementing these changes necessary to attack the cyber and ransomware infrastructure operators
You
for
know
Iran,
why
China,
they're
and Russia.
important? I want to know who has those positions, since the people who originally were there.
Supremely
Are no longer
qualified
there.
individuals have those positions.
Are they?
Supremely qualified
Who
individuals.
are they?
What Mazie Hirono did in this hearing was more than just a confrontation. It was a reality check for a Justice Department that was under political pressure. Her grilling of Kash Patel made one thing painfully clear. When responsibility is lost, credibility suffers. Hirono's queries were simple, even bureaucratic. How many have left? Who replaced them? But Patel's refusal to answer turned those simple queries into discoveries. His reluctance, or unwillingness, to disclose even a ballpark figure for FBI workers confirmed what many had suspected. The organization's leadership is more concerned with self-preservation than transparency. When a director charged with protecting the rule of law becomes defensive, democracy begins to disintegrate on the margins. Patel's deflection, accusing Hirono of seeking a fundraising clip, spoke more to his worldview than hers. It demonstrated some officials' scorn for oversight itself, as if congressional questions were a nuisance rather than a constitutional safeguard. By framing her investigation as political theater, Patel turned his own accountability dilemma into a political talking point. However, Hirono never accepted the bait. Her calm, methodical perseverance stood in stark contrast to Patel's protective bluster, demonstrating what true public service entails, asking difficult questions because the public needs answers. The stakes in this exchange extend far beyond the personnel charts. The FBI's reputation is built on continuity, experienced personnel who understand how to confront multifaceted threats, ranging from cyber attacks to domestic extremism. When such professionals are driven out and their successors are unidentified or untrained, it is more than just poor management. It's a national security issue. Patel's repeated claims that the Bureau's work has never been stronger ring hollow in light of his concealment. Although numbers and outcomes are important, honesty is even more important. And Hirono's questions, which was backed up by patience, precision, and moral clarity, served as a reminder that honesty is the foundation of integrity. This session revealed not only conflict between two public officials, but also a microcosm of America's institutional crisis. Leaders more concerned with optics than accountability, and lawmakers like Hirono driven to bring the truth to light. Finally, Hirono not only won the exchange, but she also reinforced the importance of oversight. Power, when unrestrained, always defends itself. Accountability, when pursued persistently, protects everyone.